Yo guys, what's going on? My name is HackingIsFreedom and welcome to episode 41 of What Was Cut, a series where we take a look at what exactly was cut from our favorite games. Today we're going to be talking about Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories, a GTA game that doesn't get much spotlight as the other titles. For me though, this game always felt like a carbon copy of GTA 3, and I didn't really play it much because of that. I also think I only own the PSP version of this game. I can't really remember if I own the PS2 version or not. Anywho, enough rambling. Let's meet up with Salvatore and figure out what was cut. Textures are up first, and surprisingly, there isn't that many to talk about. So these first few textures are earlier, more simple designs of the character's mission icons, and there's also one for Phil Cassidy, which was either for a cut mission or for an earlier icon for his gun shop. There's also two house icons, one in green and the other in red. We can assume that buying properties was planned at some point in development, as we'll see more in the model section. Some sort of phone icon also exists, but it's unknown what it relates to. My guess is it relates to a cut side mission called Mobile Massacre, which would have worked just like the rampages from GTA 3, and you would have needed to accept these missions from a payphone. We have an earlier version of the Liberty Jam music station logo. These three newscast textures are only present in the PS2 version, and they were supposed to be seen in a cutscene after the mission Love on the Rocks. These textures can only be found in the PS2 version as well, and they were used as placeholder loading screens. And for some reason, there's also a few leftover title cards from GTA Vice City. This simple texture was used as a placeholder save file image for the PSP's XMB. Same goes for this texture. It was used in the July 26 PSP build as a placeholder background for hovering over the game in the PSP's XMB. If you never played this game on the PSP, this is the final XMB artwork. Last up for the textures, we have a few completely different loading screens from the final game. All of these can be seen in the July 26th PSP build, and surprisingly, this one here never gets used at all. Models are up next, but sadly, there's a lot of leftovers. So we're going to start with three different variants of dirt tracks. All of these models are only present in the July 26 build, and it's been completely removed from the final game. The models are simply labeled as SJL D section 01 to 03, so we can only guess what they were planned to be used for. I'm gonna guess these were made for some sort of side mission, like the mission Dirt Track from GTA San Andreas. Also, SJL could stand for Stadium Jump Lesson, but that's just my guess. We have 5 unique models intended for the shooting range, which were all removed after the July 26 build. There's also these two models of ramps, simply labeled as Test Ramp 1 and Test Ramp 2. The green and red house pickups from GTA Vice City are still left over in the game files, and they can actually be spawned in with a trainer or the debug menu. But obviously they don't do anything because no code is attached to them anymore. Although it does seem like they had this planned early in development because of the also unused radar icons. The camera pickup that went unused in GTA Vice City is also still left in the game files, and it can also be spawned in with a trainer or the debug menu. Again, it doesn't do anything because no code is attached to it, but it's still pretty cool to see this in game. Next, we have a bunch of GTA 3 leftovers, so I'll just go through these quickly. We have Misty's apartment door from the mission Drive Misty For Me, 2 models of the Punk Noodle stall from the mission Farewell Chunky Lee Chong, a model of a fish from the mission Blowfish and Gone Fishing, a prop version of Leon McCaffrey in his full body cast from the mission Plaster Blaster, which also went unused in GTA 3, a model of the hidden packages, the GTA 3 save logo without textures, the cartel bomb from the mission Give Me Liberty, a fish crate that also went unused in GTA 3, a model of the evidence files from the mission Evidence Dash, a model of the Kappa coffee stall from the mission Espresso To Go, a model of the floating package or buoy from the mission A Drop in the Ocean, the Spank package from the mission SAM, the model of Uncle BJ's Deli and Grocery Storefront, and lastly, we have 3 different variants of dead airport guards from the mission Grand Theft Auto. The texture used to represent the blood is actually taken from Manhunt, and it's missing from the model's texture container, so it sadly shows up as a white square. On to one of my personal favorite categories in the GTA games, the cut and changes done to the various vehicles. First up, we have the Deimos SP, and not too much was different besides the headlights, the rear engine bay, and the roof was a bit different. This model closely resembles the 1990 Ferrari 348 TS, which is most likely why it was changed for the final release. The Hellenbach GT was drastically different in earlier builds, closely resembling a 1968 Shelby GT 500 KR fastback, while the final game merged the front end of a 1970 Mercury Cougar with the rear end of a 1970 AMC AMX. The Phobos VT wasn't changed too much. It basically had a bigger rear bumper, a smaller lip spoiler, slightly different headlights, and a hood scoop. This strange vehicle labeled as Tommy is only present in the files of the iOS and Android ports of the game. Nothing else is really known about this vehicle, but it kinda looks like it was modeled after a 1991 Nissan Figaro, with the back end of a 1996 Suzuki X90. Although this could also be modeled after a Mini Cooper with Rockstar's own flair. The V8 Ghost originally looked more like the 1998 Lotus Esprit V8, which I personally like a lot more. Surprisingly, the BF injection used its original model from GTA 3, which looks very unfinished. It's unknown where this vehicle was intended to be seen, but it's labeled as Mafia Blood, so I'm guessing it was supposed to be used for the mission The Made Man. There's also some blood rendered on the inside of the vehicle, which you would probably only see in a cutscene. The Landstalker changed the least throughout development, with the only change being the removal of the fog lights on the front bumper. The top fun van is still left over in the game files, and I'm assuming this was just used as a placeholder for the toys van. The old bus model from GTA 3 is left over as well, it's just set to never spawn normally. Strangely enough, the moment you spawn this in with a trainer or a debug menu, you'll see it being spawned in as a traffic vehicle until you shut off the game. There's a strange vehicle that's just labeled as helicopter in the game's files, and when spawned in, it has no model, but it does have a proper name and it has unique handling. Although I think the reason why the model doesn't load is because it uses a corrupted texture for the spinning blades. Strangely, this police Maverick can only be spawned in a 0.02 build with the assets of the May 29th build swapped in. If you didn't know, this is the helicopter that spawns in and chases you when you get a 3-star or higher wanted level. And for some reason, it has fully functioning rockets, kinda like the Hunter. The Vice City News Maverick is also here, but it's obviously just a leftover from Vice City. Strangely, it has super high reflections and the most unique handling out of any helicopter. It also seems to be the fastest out of the bunch. The standard Maverick can only be spawned in the 0.02 build with the assets from the May 29th build swapped in as well. Trying to spawn this in any other version immediately crashes the game, and I think we can see why, because it seems to be the most unfinished out of the bunch. It seems to be missing all of its body textures, and I checked with the handling file to see if this was set up as a car instead of a helicopter, but surprisingly no. It's actually properly set up as a helicopter, so I'm not entirely sure why it acts like a car. Unless it's just that unfinished, I really don't know. This final Maverick is just like the standard one, but it has a speaker on it. It seems pretty unique, although I don't really know where it was supposed to be used. It could have been used in a story mission, or it could have been used for multiplayer in the Street Rage minigame. The dead Dodo from Vice City is also still in the files, but it seems to be missing most of its textures. The flyable Dodo is here too, but it's missing the engine sound and its interior textures are slightly glitched. The RC Goblin is also still left in the files. It works exactly the same as it did in GTA Vice City though. Same goes for the RC Raider. It's just another leftover from Vice City, and it works the exact same. The Angel reused its textures from Vice City on earlier builds, but it's oddly missing the star. The Manchez looked pretty different, pretty much looking like the Sanchez from GTA Vice City. The PCJ 600 also reused its model from Vice City on earlier builds. The Noodle Boy used the Fagio model as a base, and the Noodle Box didn't have any straps on it yet. Same goes for the Pizza Boy. It used the Fagio as a base model, the Pizza Box was a bit smaller, and it lacked branding. A few liveries were changed on the mule in the final game. Pinch became Clench, Bella Bella Boutique became Bobella Boutique, and Sprunk had a completely different livery, which I think looks way better than the final games. The Yankee only had one livery change, which was a pretty wild slogan if you ask me. Finally, we have the infamous Ghost Boat from GTA 3. Strangely, the text has been fixed, because in GTA 3 it would display Ghost missing, like the Maverick helicopters. There's also this strange glitch that renders half the boat invisible. Other than that though, not much else has changed. Next, let's go over the few cut weapons. A hammer was planned to be added as a melee weapon, however it was replaced with a hand axe. It's interesting to note that the textures seem to be reused from GTA Vice City. The screwdriver was also planned to make an appearance, but it was replaced with the chisel later in development. It actually has an earlier HUD icon that shows us a unique art style, which kinda looks like an icon from GTA Vice City, but with GTA 3's colors. Once again, the golf club was planned to make an appearance, but it was later replaced with the hockey stick. It uses the same textures as GTA Vice City, and it also has an early HUD icon. The MP5 is also left in the files, and this was replaced with the MP5K. The model itself seems to be from the PC version of Vice City, but the textures are taken from the PS2 release. This also has an earlier icon. The Colt 45, which appeared in multiple GTA titles, was planned for this game too, but it was later replaced with the Glock 17. Once again, there was a HUD icon made for it. The Ruger is in the files too, along with an earlier HUD icon. This weapon was later replaced with the AK-47, and its model is taken from the PC version of Vice City, but its textures are taken from the PS2 release, just like the MP5. Lastly, tear gas is still in the game's files, and it can only be spawned in with a trainer or debug menu. However, it seems very unfinished, as the smoke effect is just large black squares, the gas itself doesn't do any damage, and this smoke stays on the map indefinitely. It will never despawn unless you restart the game. The cut characters and NPCs are up next, and there's a decent amount to cover. Starting with Tony himself, this seems to be the earliest model of him, and it seems he's wearing a Leon suit, which is pretty interesting. There's another earlier model of Tony that seems to be based off of Tommy Vercetti's Mr. Vercetti outfit, and this model was actually used in very early screenshots of the game. We have an earlier version of Tony's hero outfit, an earlier version of the overalls outfit, and I kinda like this mask design better than the final games. An earlier version of the Avenging Angels outfit, with the only difference being the beret was slightly remodeled and red instead of black. Avery looked completely different, looking much older with a jean outfit, and this model seems to be based off of Avery's official artwork. I have no idea why Rockstar decided to cut this version, because Liberty City Stories takes place 12 years after Vice City, so Avery's older age would have made perfect sense. But then again, I guess they would have had to age all the other characters too. Vinny's in-game model was drastically different, borderline looking like Dracula from Hotel Transylvania. A simple placeholder model that would appear if a model fails to load. The NPC chauffeur model originally had darker skin. Donald Love also looked pretty different, looking more like his younger look from Vice City. The bankrupt or hobo version of Donald uses his younger look, and looked more homeless. Leon McCaffrey has two earlier versions. This first one looks like he's straight out of GTA 3 with a super blocky head. His model then changed to this, which still looks pretty different from the final game. Mickey's design was originally based off of his official artwork. However, later in development, Rockstar changed his appearance to be more in line with how he looked in GTA 3. Both versions of construction workers used to wear short shorts for some reason. Ray Makowski's model originally looked like it was from GTA 3. Miles O'Donovan literally looked like Max Headroom in the early stages. Specifically the guy in the mask from the TV hijacking, not so much the actual Max Headroom. Still, I have no idea what Rockstar was thinking with this one. Bro looks so creepy. Donovan also has this extremely early placeholder model with just his name written on it. Kazuki Kaisen had a completely different appearance, wearing a dark blue suit, different shoes, and he actually had tattoos on his chest. We also have an earlier model of Toshiko Kaisen in her Komodo, and
oh my goodness! Squidward!
Yeah, she had some pretty bad hands. But her belt was also a bit thicker, the Komodo was wrapped differently, her face was remodeled, and she had some white underclothing. The male 01 NPC had a completely different outfit, looking more like a trucker. Miguel still reused his appearance from GTA 3 in earlier builds. Mr. Hole only appears in one mission called A Walk in the Park while wearing jogging gear, making this suit version unused. JD O'Toole went through a few different design changes. This was his first, having much bigger arms, a wider face, more body hair, a cross chain, dark red pants, and blue glasses. The second version isn't much different from the first, besides remodeling done to his head. JD's suit model obviously used his old head model with blue glasses, and besides the suit color being changed, nothing else was different. Maria was pretty much identical to the final game, the only difference being the all-black outfit. The fat male 01 NPC was taken straight from GTA 3 in early builds. Torini's earlier model just had slightly different coloring and a smaller head. Earlier builds reused the taxi driver from GTA 3. 8-Ball once again looks like he was based off of his official artwork, and wore an open jacket shirt with his logo on it, which I think is actually a very cool look for him. The female 01 NPC's face and chest textures were changed, as well as getting remodeled hands. Her pants texture was also changed. The deli assistant seen in the mission Shop Till You Strap was changed slightly. Their hair was more ginger in color, the face was remodeled a bit, and their shoes were changed. The SWAT, FBI, Army, Police, and Fire Department all reused their appearances from GTA 3. However, the police officer specifically is a model that went unused in GTA 3 as well. The male 02 NPC's face was really low quality, and the color of his suit was changed. Same goes for the male 03 NPC, his face was retextured and he had a different outfit. The campaign man went through a few different design stages, with this first stage looking very weird, almost like he's wearing a mask. The second version remodeled his head and added some buttons to his jacket. This NPC is labeled as CAS Man, and his original design looked a lot like Freddy Krueger. Businessman 1 had a completely different head and skin color. Businessman 2 had a different face texture. Businessman 3 also had a completely different head and different textures on the jacket. Two versions of completely different Yardie gang members. It's strange that Rockstar decided to cut these unique versions because the final game's model is just copied for both gang members, with some slight color alterations. This NPC labeled as Gang 18 actually uses an edited version of Tommy Vercetti's face textures, which I thought was pretty cool. The Hitman NPC had different face textures, and he kinda looked like Jason Statham. Finally, Salvatore's model from the mission Salvatore's Salvation was supposed to have a sack or a bag on his head. Strangely, this texture is missing from the final game. Also, his tie changed color, for whatever reason. It's time for the music and voice lines, and we'll be going over the music first, as there's only a few tracks that go unused. Starting with a unique credits theme that was only present in the September debug build. Since this track is like 4 minutes long, I'll just play a short clip here. Next, we have two earlier mission complete themes. This first one can still be found in the files of the final release, and I believe this was used as a placeholder because it's just a sound clip from the introduction scene. The other one can only be found in the July build, and it honestly sounds pretty cool. Onto the voice lines, and to start, we've got some interesting ones coming from a Coast Guard. This is strange because there are police boats in the game, however the LCPD doesn't use them. So this could be a remnant of the LCPD being able to follow you in police boats, similar to GTA 3 and Vice City.
This is the LCPD. We know you can't swim, buddy. Give it up. This is the Harbor Patrol. We've got you surrounded. This ain't Vice City, asshole. We got rules here. You're on the water now. You're on my turf. It's just you, me, and the harbor, tough guy. Where you gonna go? This is the police. Step away from the boat. Nothing can outrun us. Nothing. You want trouble? Okay, flyboy, you got it. Not on my watch, greaseball. Stop immediately. Can't this boat go any faster? You don't want to get me seasick. Liberty City Harbor Patrol. Cease and desist. You're getting my megaphone wet. Stop it. Damn joyriders on their slick schooners! Enough! You want to race me down it? Let's race! Shut down your boat immediately! Stop it now, or you're shark food! Give me one excuse, Chowderhead, and kapow! Okay, boys, let's show 'em who owns these waters! We'll give you 2 free to give up! 1, 2... Oh, fuck it! You're a slippery one, ain't ya? Real slippery! Stop your boat immediately! Damn choppy waves! Think I'm gonna throw up! Stop your boat so we can talk about this! Where you gonna go, huh?
Some interesting, I guess, lines from Casa that were intended for the mission Snappy Dresser.
Baby needs a hug. I made Chuck Chuck. Suck my dummy. Suck it! Shit! Someone's here. Quick, get in the van!
We've got a single voice line from Vincenzo, which was supposed to be heard in the mission Dealing Revenge.
Hey, stop hanging around outside bathroom doors, kid. People think you're strange.
Some additional dialogue for the end of the mission Smash and Grab.
So, did you get the money?
We got it all, boss. Hey, listen, there was nothing we could do.
There was nothing you could do.
Things got fucked up. It couldn't have been worse.
And what do you think? Things better now or worse? If you fuck it up for me, ever again, things will get worse for you too. Now clear that shit up and get out of my sight. I got a call to make. I swear to God, Tony, the day you came back, my luck turned to shit. You're like a bad fucking penny.
A short line from an unknown character telling Tony that Leon's debt is paid, and I believe this was supposed to be heard after the mission Sayonara Sendekos.
Hey, tell Leon his debt is repaid. Will do.
Some lines from JD that were supposed to be heard in the mission Bon Voyeur.
Reverse up to the car, nice and close so I can get a look-see. Nice and easy now. We don't want to disturb them. Closer, closer, easy. Jeez, Tony, I can't see a goddamn thing. Oh, yeah. Go on, baby. Oh, that's it, that's it. Oh, yeah. This is just beautiful.
Are we done here yet?
Oh, for crying out loud, Tony. You scared him off. Nice work, Tony.
Never mind. Just keep your eyes peeled for your hookers.
The drug dealer in the mission Slacker had an additional line.
Hey! Don't leave me here, man! It's a bad neighborhood, dude!
A few lines from the Leons that were supposed to be heard in the mission Syndeco Sabotage.
Screw them! Let's get the fuck out of here! We're getting massacred here, Tony! I don't get paid enough for this shit, man! You're crazy, Tony! We're all gonna die!
A few lines from Ned Burner being confronted by Tony in the mission Stop the Press.
Help! Help! I'm being kidnapped! Help! He's gonna kill me! Save me! Someone! Anyone! I'm too gifted to die! I can't die! I'm still working on my novel! My editor never said anything about this shit! Help! I'm an honest journalist! Don't move a muscle, assweed! Stop right there, dickhead! For crying out loud, will you stop running away?
Some additional lines from the mission host selector that would have been for an additional client that would tag along if you went after their girl. This interaction has been completely cut from the final game, but it can still be seen in the earlier builds.
Hey, I'm coming too. So where the party at? So it's just you and me, huh? Are we gonna get it on or what?
Get out, asshole!
Aw, gee, don't be like that. I just wanna party with ya.
Finally, we have a few voice lines that were intended for the mission Shop Till You Strop. While you do get your tire shot out during this mission, this dialogue never plays for whatever reason.
He shot my fucking tires out! What did you steal this time?
Shut up and get us out of here! Lose the cop, dickhead!
As we come to the end of the video, it's time for the oddities I found throughout the game. Starting with a very cool and unique intro featuring the Rockstar logo, which can only be found in the July 26th build. I really don't know why Rockstar changed this. I feel like this added so much character to the game. Also, only in the May 29th build, the game reuses GTA 3's intro as a placeholder. These death messages are left over from GTA 3, and they most likely would have displayed when getting a unique death. For example, Pancake probably refers to dying by the car crusher in the junkyard. Soaked most likely would have been for dying in water. Splat was most likely for dying to a high fall. And Kaboom was most likely dying to a vehicle explosion. I think it would have been really cool to see some unique death messages, as Wasted or You Are Dead have gotten really stale. Tony's casual wear was really different in earlier builds. I put this in the oddities section because this model still to this day has never been found, and we don't see anything like this outfit in the final game. For some strange reason, certain options were changed in the Japanese version's menu. Brief became log, game became system, stats became records, and multiplayer became multiplay. I am not really sure why these options specifically were changed, unless it had something to do with the Japanese text. It seems at one point in development, Rockstar wanted to add an actual Busta version where you would pick up passengers and earn a little extra cash. This most likely would have worked the same way as the Taxi version, and this was partially implemented in GTA Vice City, though you had no route or timer. There's also some text strings left over that show some sort of mission inspired by the movie Speed. A mission like this did exist in Vice City called Publicity Tour, so this could either be leftover code for that mission or just some reused code for a similar mission in this game. With this text, it kinda seems like this mission would have activated after putting a bomb in your car from 8-Ball. If you've seen my other GTA videos, this will be familiar to you. There's a test cutscene labeled as Cut Test that just seems to be some sort of object bending and twisting. This test cutscene also uses a few seconds of audio from the mission Biker Heat. Finally, there's some leftovers in multiplayer that seem to be from a cut survival game mode. All of these interiors are labeled as MP Serve, so that's my best guess. Since these are all cutscene interiors, only the floor has collision, and one thing they all have in common is a rotary phone. This short cutscene would have played when entering a survival match, and I'm pretty sure the hospital Tony is talking about in this cutscene is this interior here, which is labeled as MP Sal Hosp, which also makes me think Salvatore was going to be the man hosting these events. And that's all I have for GTA Liberty City Stories. It's always fun going back to these older GTAs and seeing what was cut from newly leaked builds. I hope something like this will happen for GTA 4. I would love to see an early version of that game. Hey, anywho, if you have a suggestion for the next What Was Cut episode, please feel free to comment down below. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.